Welcome home, y'all. I'm Angela Rye, your host of today's SoloPod, and I want to start with a story that too many of us are not talking about. This man's name is James Broadnax. He is currently on death row awaiting execution, 2 days remaining. There's a color of change petition. There's a page called Justice for James Broadnax, and I'm encouraging you all to sign on to Instagram to look at this page and understand his story. It is crazy. So just yesterday, the Supreme Court denied James Broadnax 2 appeals. He issued 2 appeals to the Supreme Court asking them to stay his execution. They were rooted in 2 things. Number one, James Broadnax now is 37 years old. And the first appeal is around alleging that the use of rap lyrics in James's trial during the trial was unconstitutional. Another appeal is around the prosecutors striking black jurors, potential jurors, from the selection pool, which resulted in a almost all-white jury, which is never fair. We've seen this time and time again. Without saying anything, the Supreme Court denied both of those appeals, and to make matters worse, today the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles declined clemency. James's last hope, his last-ditch effort, is for us to weigh in with the governor. What that means is that we can call the governor today. Oh my God, what just happened? Sorry, y'all. I don't know what just happened. My computer went black. Can you see me? Okay, hopefully you can see me. What that means, thank you. What that means is that we have to call this governor. That means we have to hope that the governor of Texas can find his conscience and stay this man's execution. In order for us to reach Governor Abbott, we need to call 800-843-5789. Again, that's 800-843-5789 or 512-463-2000. Again, that is 512-463-2000. James's family and friends are asking people to join them in Huntsville, Texas this Thursday. That is the day that the execution is scheduled at 5 p.m. Again, this is Thursday, April 30th at 5 p.m., 815 12th Street at Avenue I believe, or maybe Avenue 1. What I want you all to do so that you can get the real-time updates is to please go to @Justice for James Broadnax on Instagram and get all the updates. I would like for you to hear from James in his own words, and I just want to send so much love to his family because they have been nonstop at reaching out to so many of us. I have posted everything they've asked me to post. What I have not done, just to be completely accountable to you all, is call Governor Abbott, and I'm going to do that as soon as this podcast ends today. So I ask that you all join me in doing that. Again, that is 800-843-5789. Let's hear from James himself.
The way I was acting, this callous demeanor, is true and completely false at the same time. The feeling of what I was projecting, it was very much real. I didn't care about my life. Whatever happens, happens. I'm okay with dying because I don't want to live anyway. However, what I'm confessing to is completely false. You know, if I could say anything to the family of Matthew Butler and Stephen Swan, I would just want to give my deepest, sincerest apologies. The events and circumstances that led to their brother, their son, their nephew, you know, losing their life, I wish it would have never happened. And if I could take it back, I would.
What's important to understand here, y'all, is that James Broadnax's cousin, Demarius Cummings, confessed just last month to actually being the shooter. He said that he convinced James to take the blame for the shooting. They were high on PCP and marijuana. And Demarius has decided to confess after realizing that his cousin is scheduled to die. So I'm asking you all to weigh in. What would you want someone to do if it was your own family member, if it was your own friend, if it was you sitting there? We've got to do something. If all we have to do is pick up the phone and call for this man, let's pick up the phone and call for James. So, next, we have a guest. I'm so excited to talk about this new movie, The Ebony Canal. It's narrated by Viola Davis, directed by Alaquiva. I got it right, Emmai Alaquiva, and he joins us now. He is the director and doing press. So we are both
What's up?
doing this show from respective hotel rooms. And
Yes,
Emma, I just want to shout out Priscilla Clark, who's a good friend, and she put this on our radar. And I was like, oh, I definitely wanted to have this conversation. So
she is
thank you so
definitely
much for,
people's.
yes, thank you for making the time. Tell us about this movie and why people need to go see it. Not just black folks, everybody should go be informed, but talk to us about why it matters.
Absolutely. Everyone needs to see this film. This film is a remarkable love letter from me, a father, a son, a husband who saw something and wanted to do something about it. We follow four women's birthing journey from conception, the entire 9 months, all the way to the child's very first birthday. And it talks about three buckets. It talks about the hurt, but it also talks about the healing and the hope as well. So it's not necessarily a film that's just like rah, 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 doom and gloom, but it's very, very hopeful. And we wanted to talk about the disparities, but we also wanted to talk about, individuals who are in this fight to turn the narrative into something that we can control when it comes to black and brown moms and their babies. Black and brown women are three times that likely to die during childbirth than their white counterparts. Black babies die 2.5 times that of their white counterparts before the age of one. So we gotta do this. And I just wanted to put it into the form of film so that it's easily digestible for the culture. So that's what the Ebony Canal is all about, Angela.
Well, talk about, especially given the fact that you are very awarded. I should have said this at the outset, Emma, but you were once homeless. You have 6 Emmys, 3 Webbies, NAACP Image Award winning. So there's something that you found through film that helps you
Sure.
to communicate a story and to connect with the audience. Talk about what the centerpiece of that for this particular film is.
Yes. So a lot of times when I was younger, I would watch films and it would always often go over my head because it didn't have the intersection of clinical and cultural. So what the Ebony Canal does is it marries those two C's so that individuals could really digest it and not only watch this film once, they could watch this film a couple of times and get something out of it. The film shot in black and white, we're blacks and white spaces, right? We don't turn this into color until the child's very first birthday. So we're intentional, even behind the name, Angela, the Ebony Canal, ebony being a dark shade or a black color. Canal, when you connect one body of life to another body of life. The canal of a womb, when birth is there. So there's all of these cinematic and poetic equities that are in this film that allows it to be as powerful as it is. And when you add someone like Viola Davis, to narrate the film and to talk about this journey as we go through conception, to the child's very first birthday, was quintessential on how it takes us all to go to the next level. So when you think about Elaine Welter Roth at Birth Fund, you think about Charles Johnson from For Care for Moms, you think about Latham Thomas and Mama Glow in Brooklyn, and you think of all these organizations that are really fighting and have been fighting this fight. It's just miraculous that a film like this is getting so much love, screening all over the world. We screened in London, we screened in Africa, and guess what? We're on our way to Cannes Film Festival. We're screening May 13th and May 18th as well in two different sectors of the festival. So, very glad to be here.
I think that's incredible. And part of the reason is, we're in a different day and age in our body politic, right? Like people have to get really creative in how we see
Absolutely.
policy change. So I'm thinking in particular of like Lauren Underwood and the Momnibus bill, and when Kamala Harris was still in the Senate, you right, she was like a centerpiece on Black maternal health. This focuses more
Absolutely.
on infant mortality, and we know that, and hopefully our audience knows that Black babies die at double the rate of white babies in this country, in the land of the
Hmm.
free. And so I think it's so important for us to understand what types of things you hope to see change. Of course, you want to
Yes.
see our children living and thriving at the same rates, and if not better, we want everybody's kids to live and to thrive. But what else would you like to see change from this? Again, knowing that we have to get creative in how policy shifts now in this country.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to give it up to Alana Isola Daly, Mariah Peoples, Rachel Strader, Larissa Lane Keys, who were the courageous individuals who really allowed us to go into their home and really allowed us to go into their world. So the individuals, quite frankly, could understand what they're going through. And there's three things that we want to see. We definitely want to see the educational change. The more education we get, the more we understand, the more we understand, the more we connect, the more we build bridges, and not necessarily build those bridges, but cross those bridges as well. Two, we definitely need policy change. With Charles Johnson, I'm very proud to be for Care for Dad's advocate. So going to the Capitol Hill, trying to get these bills changed and things of that nature, especially with the environment that we're in now, we need each other now more than ever. And number three, you can be an advocate. You could be a vessel to help us travel along the Ebony Canal so that we can make that change and we can be unapologetic about that change. We understand that all lives matter. We understand that all moms matter. But if all moms matter, all Black and brown mothers have to matter. All Black children have to matter. So that's why we kind of, bundled it up under the Ebony Canal to make sure that we go underground, but we stay above ground with change. So with those three things, I think we can move the needle forward to new solution-driven practices.
What is your connective tissue to this particular issue? Did you have a personal story and a pull that made you cleave to this issue, or is it Charles's story or another one that you heard that made you really hone in on this and think this is important to attach yourself to this project?
Sure. So, I mean, when calling my mother at the beginning of the developmental process, I found out that she had complications with me, but she couldn't really talk about that, and she never really wanted to talk about that. And when I think about my 14-year-old daughter, I want her to say, Dad, what did you do, during this time? What was your legacy? I want to be able to have this film, as well as the other projects that we work on, be my legacy to really teach her and teach a lot of, Black and brown mothers and birthing people on what it's going to take, but also what it's going to take to heal us, to be hopeful for us. As Charles, Johnson says, 84% of this is preventable. And this is something that we want to eradicate by 2030, 2035. But it's really going to take all of us. I mean, it's going to take you. We appreciate what you do in this work. We appreciate what others do in this work. My PR team, everybody who was involved in this film, Viola Davis, because it's really, really crucial. We understand that we have accolades, but it's truly about awareness.
It really is. And so I'm curious, for folks who haven't felt comfortable coming to tell their stories. You talked about your mom. My mom told me very late in life that 3 months before I was conceived, they miscarried a child. So they were very hyper
Wow.
vigilant with me, and there are so many stories like that we just don't know. My grandmother's, my great grandmother, lost a child, very early on. I have a cousin who lost a child to SIDS. So there are all of these stories that kind of percolate, and I think I don't know if it's for Black women in particular, but it feels that way. Maybe just because I'm a Black woman, it feels like there's a lot of shame attached to, losing a child, whether it's miscarried or they are born prematurely and don't survive, or they leave this planet early. What do you say to mothers that are battling, telling those stories and the importance of sharing so that we can continue to make change?
Yeah, well, May is an exceptional time to start. May is Maternal Mental Health Month. So, talking, chatting, sharing what's kind of heavy on your heart or heavy on your shoulders, the more we get into a room and start discussing these things and starting to understand that Dr. Janelle Green Smith should still be here. She was a midwife. She delivered over 200 babies, but she lost her life delivering her own. So, Zuri, who's, really the center of the Ebony Canal, Zuri should be here, but he was gone in a matter of 2 days. So I think dealing with those and being able to talk to individuals that you trust that are around your circle, I think is very important. What we don't want to do is keep this in and have it add on to what our chief medical officer, uh, Dr. Margaret Larkins Pettigrew, she talks about weathering. Black and brown mothers, they go through weathering, which has a lot to do with the telomeres, which essentially, decides how long you live. The social determinants of health and things of that nature, the stressors that are on Black and brown women. I think if we talk about that and we sort of get those out in order for us to get the love in, I think is purposeful, very much like this film.
Well, one other thing that I really appreciate about what you all have built is it is not just the film. There is this revolution that feels like it's attached to the film. You all have on the website, the ebonycanal.com. The Ebony Canal, this is your mission. This is our mission. The Ebony Canal is a documentary film that examines the historic portal between the disparities of infant mortality and the current state of maternal health orbiting Black women. Despite the undercurrents, the mission aims to foster a new wave of solution-driven practices. The vision is to move maternal health forward in the journey to save Black mothers and Black babies. It's so powerful.
Absolutely, let's go.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
powerful.
I'm so proud of this work. This work has truly been amazing, and everybody who's been involved with this project, from our PR team to the camera man, the audio guy or production assistants. Shout out to Jonathan Mooten and also Donna Marie Reed, who helped us to secure Viola Davis. It literally, Angela, this film has changed my life. So I'm gonna spend the rest of my life helping others change theirs.
I love it. Well, Emmai, thank you so much. Emmai with the
Thank
Emmys.
you.
Come
What's
through with the
up?
Emmys.
Come through. You already
So
know.
grateful for your time. I look
Yes.
forward to seeing you all win many awards, changing many lives, and saving even
Yes.
more. Thank you so much. And it's a
Yes.
pleasure to
Thank you
partner
so
with
much,
y'all. So
Angela.
anything I can do, absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Take
Cheers.
care. Oh, you all, speaking of saving lives, please make sure you save your own and someone around you by going to check out the Ebony Canal. What a powerful, powerful opportunity to join a movement to continue to help preserve, save, and uplift Black babies and Black mothers. I want to go back just for a moment to talk about this man, James Broadnax, who is somebody's Black baby. He's somebody's child. He was 19 years old when he went to jail for a crime he did not commit. He did confess to it, but he said he's been very clear that he was not. He confessed errantly that he did it because he didn't care anymore. His cousin has since come forward and said that he actually is the perpetrator of the crime. James is also a poet. I don't want us to just think about this man on death row who does need our intervention. We've given the number. We're going to put that phone number up one more time for you all. But I do also want you to hear from James, the poet. Again, please make sure before I play this poem, because that is how we're going to end the show tonight or this afternoon, 1-800-843-5789 or 512-463-2000. It would be helpful, y'all, if we put some spaces in that phone number. Some of us are old. But yes, we're going to go ahead and play this video of James reading this poetry. Y'all, please treat this like this is your own family member and make that call.
Inspiration. Tunes from a symphony. I feel it was sent to me. Melody so strange, nothing kin to me. If I fail to recognize sin, please have the wisdom to repent for me. Pain never lasts forever. Scriptures of sympathy. One life. One chance to see it crash around me. One time to do it over like I had an epiphany. But I still struggle and strive so hard to maintain, so focused on not to-dos that I'm sleeping on main things. Reminisce past life, a mirage in the frame. Tears of a God fall. Just a day in the rain.
Welcome home, y'all. Thank you. Make the call.
Nobody knows the troubles I've seen,